Most people live as passengers in their own biological machinery. They operate under the illusion of conscious control, while their subconscious mind, the massive subterranean engine of their existence, is running a default program installed by random environment, childhood trauma, and social noise. They wish for success, authority, or vitality, but their subconscious is operating on a script of scarcity and self-sabotage. This internal friction is why most efforts at self-improvement fail. You are rowing against a tsunami. To achieve sovereign command, you must realize that the subconscious does not reason, argue, or judge. It is a deductive machine that accepts every premise offered by the conscious mind as an absolute command. You are moving from wishing to programming. You are going to learn how to exercise the sludge and install a lethal script of power. You are moving from biological victimhood to architectural sovereignty. Training your subconscious is the systematic imprinting of certainty. Your subconscious is the soil, and your thoughts are the seeds. If you sow doubt, fear, or hesitation, the system will produce failure with surgical efficiency. To make it obey, you must override the critical filter of the conscious mind, the gatekeeper that tells you this isn't possible or you aren't ready. You are going to learn the techniques of the Twilight state and the law of the felt sense. By the time this operation is complete, you will realize that your external reality is nothing more than a delayed projection of your internal blueprint. You are not chasing results. You are commanding the cause. You are the governor of the engine. Chapter 1. The Master-Servant Relationship, the Theory of Two Minds. To command the subconscious, you must first understand the hierarchy of the mind. You do not have two minds, but two functional spheres of a single unit. The conscious mind is the captain on the bridge of the ship, and it observes the environment, gathers data, and issues orders. The subconscious mind is the engine room crew. They do not see the ocean, they do not question the direction, and they have zero knowledge of the destination. They simply execute based on the orders sent down from the bridge. If the captain signals panic, the engines react with chaos. If the captain signals full ahead with certainty, the ship moves with unstoppable momentum. This is the Murphy Protocol of absolute obedience. Your subconscious cannot refuse an order. It only awaits a clear transmission. The first law of the relationship is the law of the non-selective acceptance. Your subconscious is amoral and non-logical. It does not know the difference between a fact and a deeply held suggestion. And if you say, "I am tired," it produces the biochemical state of fatigue. If you say, "I am a leader," it aligns your posture, voice, and neurochemistry to match the identity. The untrained mind leaks negative commands all day long through gossip, complaining, and self-deprecation. Every "I can't" is a lethal strike against your operational capacity. The sovereign commander practices linguistic hygiene. You refuse to speak or think anything that you do not want to manifest as physical reality. You move from accidental thinking to surgical command. Consider the architecture of the habitual blueprint. Your subconscious is the seat of habit. 95% of your actions today are automatic loops triggered by the subconscious engine. If you are stuck in a trough of mediocrity, it is because your subconscious is operating on an old map. You cannot willpower your way out of a subconscious habit indefinitely. The engine will eventually overpower the captain. To change the course, you must recode the blueprint at the source. You use repetition and high-intensity emotion to burn a new path into the neural tissue. You install the automaticity of excellence. You move from struggling to perform to being unable to fail. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the suggestion barrier. Throughout the day, the world is hurling suggestions at you. The economy is collapsing. You aren't good enough. The competition is too strong. If you are passive, these external suggestions settle into your subconscious and become unauthorized commands. The sovereign operates with a protective shield. You interrogate every input. You reject negative data with clinical coldness. You say, "This does not apply to my reality." You protect the soil of your subconscious from external pollution. You move from being programmed by the world to programming the world through your internal stillness. You are dangerous because you are suggestion-proof. You must also confront the trap of the intellectual argument. Many people try to convince their subconscious using logic. They explain why they should be successful. This is useless. The subconscious does not speak the language of logic. It speaks the language of imagery and feeling. To make it obey, you must show it the result in the theater of the mind. You paint the high-resolution image of your sovereignty. You infuse the image with the chemical reality of victory. You force the subconscious to accept the image as a present fact. Once the subconscious accepts the image, it mobilizes every resource in your biology to make the world match the picture. You move from describing to visualizing. The second law of command is the principle of the dominant impression. When you have two conflicting thoughts, the subconscious always follows the one that is heavier, the one with the most emotional charge. If you say, "I will be wealthy," but feel deep poverty, the subconscious obeys the feeling. It ignores the words and executes the vibration. To command the subconscious, you must align the frequency. You practice the state of the wish fulfilled. You don't wait for the success to feel successful. You feel successful to force the success to appear. This inversion of cause and effect is the Murphy key. You move from anxious seeking to sovereign possession. In the master-servant relationship, you will encounter the lure of the quick fix. You will think that one affirmation will undo 20 years of negative programming. This is delusion. Command requires inconsistency. You must imprint the new script every single day until the subconscious relents. You are training a massive power, and training requires discipline. You maintain the pressure of the new image until the old reality collapses. You move from trying it out to living the protocol. You are confident because you know the law of reproduction is infallible. The third law is the law of the silent incubation. Once you have issued the command and imprinted the image, you must release the effort. You trust the engine room to do the work. You refuse to worry about how it will happen. Worry is a counter command that signals distrust to the subconscious, stalling the operation. You move from forcing to allowing. You realize that the power is implicit in the seed. As you conclude this chapter on the relationship, perform an internal audit. Identify the one word or one sentence you say to yourself most often. For the next 48 hours, you will decapitate that sentence if it is negative. you will replace it with a high authority command of 5 words or less, or you will repeat it until it vibrates in your bones. You have given yourself the permission to be the captain, and you have realized that your subconscious is the lethal servant of your deepest conviction. You are dangerous because you are decisive. You are confident because you are the programmer. Chapter 2. The Twilight Protocol. The conscious mind is a necessary guardian, but in the context of subconscious reprogramming, it is often your greatest obstacle. During your waking hours, the critical faculty, the logical, analytical part of your brain, acts as a filter. When you attempt to command your subconscious with a new identity of wealth or authority, the conscious mind interjects with counter-evidence. It says, "I look at your bank account. Remember your past failures," or "This is just an illusion." This internal friction, this reflects the command back before it can seep into the engine room. To make the subconscious obey, you must bypass the guardian. You must master the Twilight Protocol. This is the strategic utilization of the hypnagogic state, the biological window just before you fall asleep and just after you wake up. You are moving from fighting the filter to slipping under the radar. The first law of the Twilight Protocol is the law of the theta threshold. Your brain operates on frequencies. During the day, you are in beta, high frequency, analytical, and unguarded. As you drift towards sleep, your frequency drops into alpha and then into theta. In the theta state, the critical faculty is dormant. The consciousness is fluid, and the subconscious is wide open. This is the input window. Any idea, image, or command you hold in your mind during this window is accepted by the subconscious as literal reality. It is imprinted without argument. The sovereign commander refuses to waste this window on worry, recapping the day's stress, or digital distraction. You use the Twilight for systemic installation. You move from accidental drifting to tactical imprinting. Consider the architecture of the lullaby method. The subconscious is overwhelmed by complex sentences. To command it effectively during the twilight state, you must condense the intent. You distill your entire desire into a single potent phrase, a mental lullaby. If you seek financial sovereignty, the phrase is not "I want to make more money next month." The phrase is wealth. If you seek health, the phrase is vitality. You repeat this single word or short phrase over and over like a mantra as you sink into sleep. You wrap the word in the feeling of reality. By occupying the last seconds of consciousness with this command, you force the subconscious to work on that script for the entire duration of your sleep cycle. You move from thinking about it to being it. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the sensory loop. The subconscious records in multidimensional high definition. When you are in the twilight state, you do not just think of the result, you experience the result with every sense. You feel the weight of the object in your hand. You hear the specific voice of someone congratulating you as you smell the environment of your success. This sensory saturation tricks the subconscious into believing the event has already occurred. Since the subconscious cannot differentiate between a vivid memory and a vivid vision, it accepts the vision as a memory of the future. It then realigns your internal compass to navigate toward that coordinate with unshakable certainty. You move from visualizing to experiencing. You must also confront the trap of the negative review. Most people use the minutes before sleep to replay their errors, anxieties, and conflicts from the day. This is reverse programming. You are ordering the subconscious to produce more of the same friction tomorrow. The sovereign enforces a strict mental embargo. 5 minutes before sleep, in the past is dead. The day is liquidated. You refuse to process any problem unless you are visualizing the completed solution. You enter the sleep state in a vibration of gratitude for the result that is already yours in the mental realm. You move from worrying about the problem to resting in the solution. You are dangerous because you control the starting line of your next day. The second law of the Twilight Protocol is the principle of the first impression. The moment of waking is as critical as the moment of falling asleep. When you first open your eyes, you are still in the theta-alpha bridge. This is the second window. The untrained mind immediately checks the phone, grabs the stress of the calendar, and syncs with the world's chaos. The Sovereign Commander claims, "Mark the first 5 minutes. Before you move, you reassert the command. You confirm the identity you installed the night before. You say, 'I am sovereign, I am clear, I am commanding.' You set the frequency for the entire day before the world can interfere. You move from reacting to the alarm to directing the operation. In the Twilight Protocol, you will encounter the lure of the intellectual effort. You might try too hard to visualize or force the thought. This effort engages the conscious mind and spikes your brain waves back into beta, closing the window. The key is passive receptivity. You allow the images to flow. You float into the state. You let the feeling saturate you like water, soaking a sponge. You realize that power under this protocol is not in the force, but in the intensity of the conviction. You move from labor to absorption. You are confident because you are yielding to your own power. The third law is the law of the recursive narrative. Your sleep is not dead time, yet it is computational time. By directing the input in Twilight, you are subcontracting your problem-solving to the infinite processing power of the subconscious. You will often wake up with the answer, the idea, or the strategic move ready in your conscious mind. This is the subconscious delivery. You act on these intuitions with immediate force. This feedback loop, command in Twilight, receive in morning, execute in day, validates the system and accelerates your reprogramming. You move from guessing to receiving instruction. As you conclude this chapter on the Twilight Protocol, perform a night cycle reset. Tonight, you will remove all digital screens from the last 30 minutes of your day. You will identify your lullaby word. As you sink into the pillow, you will repeat that word and experience the result as a present fact. You will refuse to let any other thought enter the final second of consciousness. You will observe the shift in your morning frequency. You have given yourself the permission to be the programmer, and you have realized that sleep is the sacred laboratory of the sovereign mind. You are dangerous because you never stop operating. You are confident because you control the blueprint. Chapter 3. The Law of the Felt Sense. The subconscious mind does not understand English, Spanish, or mathematics. It is deaf to the literal meaning of your affirmations if they are empty of energy. You can repeat the sentence, "I am successful," 1,000 times a day, But if your internal state is vibrating with lack, anxiety, or disbelief, the subconscious will ignore the words and execute the vibration. This is the failure point for the casual practitioner. They think in language, but the subconscious operates in feeling. To make it obey, you must master the law of the felt sense. And this is the surgical ability to generate the emotional frequency of your result before it appears in physical space. You are moving from reciting a script to broadcasting a signal. You are going to learn how to anchor your identity in the chemical reality of the wish fulfilled. The first law of the felt sense is the law of the emotional signature. Every thought carries a charge. Fear has a frequency. Authority has a frequency. Wealth has a frequency. Your subconscious acts as a magnetic compass. It aligns your external reality with your dominant internal frequency. If you wait for the money to feel wealthy, you are operating on reverse logic. You are telling the subconscious that you lack the result, and it faithfully produces more lack. The sovereign commander. That inverts the process. You generate the felt sense of possession now. You walk, breathe, and think from the internal premise that the battle is already won. This shift in signature forces the subconscious to adjust the physical environment to resolve the dissonance. You move from begging the universe to commanding the alignment. Consider the architecture of the body mirror. The subconscious is tied directly to your physiology. You cannot feel sovereign while slouching, breathing shallowly, or avoiding eye contact. Your body is the terminal through which you input the felt sense. To imprint a new command, you adopt the physicality of the successor. You expand your postural presence. You slow your movement. You internalize the quiet confidence of someone not who already owns the room. This physical feedback loop signals to the subconscious that the identity shift is real. It triggers the release of power-based neurochemicals like testosterone and dopamine, hardening the felt sense into a biological fact. You move from mental visualization to somatic certainty. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the gratitude loop. Gratitude is the ultimate command for the subconscious mind. When you feel truly grateful for a result, you are confirming to the subconscious that the result is already present. You cannot be grateful for something that hasn't happened unless you accept its existence in the mental realm. The sovereign uses preemptive gratitude. You spend time each day deeply feeling the thankfulness for your victory, your health, and your command. This feeling short-circuits the anxiety of waiting. It tells the subconscious the order has been delivered and received. The subconscious then accelerates the materialization. You move from asking for a favor to acknowledging a reality. You must also confront the trap of the sensory. In conflict, your five senses will argue with your felt sense. They will point to the empty desk, the quiet phone, or the unfinished project. This is the testing phase. Most people relapse here. They look at the current data and lose the felt sense. The sovereign practices sensory denial. You close your eyes to the temporary fact and open your mind to the eternal truth. You value the internal vibration more than the external reflection. You realize that the physical world is slow and dense. It is yesterday's news catching up to today's command. You move from being controlled by sight to being directed by vision. You are dangerous because your clarity is indifferent to the obstacle. The second law of the felt sense is the principle of the mental atmosphere. You cannot command the subconscious for 10 minutes and then spend the rest of the day in a mental atmosphere of cynicism or frustration. This mixed signaling confuses the engine room. It creates a gestalt state. The sovereign maintains a constant climate. You guard your internal vibration with lethal intensity. You refuse to entertain low-frequency environments, media, or conversations that degrade your felt sense. You realize that every second of feeling is a command. You move from intermittent practice to total integration. You are confidence personified because your vibration is seamless. In the law of the felt sense, you will encounter the lure of the intellectual shadow. You will think that understanding the process is the same as doing the process. It is not. Knowing the physics of a fire doesn't keep you warm. You must light the match. You must do the internal work of generating the feeling until your heart rate changes and your skin tingles. This is the threshold of imprinting. If you feel no shift, you have issued no command. You move from studying the law to executing the law. You are confident because you feel the power surge. The third law is the law of the effortless release. Once the felt sense is locked in, you must stop trying. Forcing the feeling creates resistance. You adopt the state of naturalness. How would you feel if you already had the success? You wouldn't be straining or pleading. You would be relaxed. You would be calm. You would be normal. This sense of naturalness is the final seal of subconscious acceptance. It means the subconscious has absorbed the identity. You move from intensity to inevitability. As you conclude this chapter on the felt sense, perform a frequency check. Close your eyes. Think of your primary goal. Now, or shift your focus to your body. Generate the physical sensation of total completion. Feel the relaxation in your shoulders, the certainty in your breath, and the warmth of success in your chest. Hold this vibration for 60 seconds. You will observe how the weight of doubt evaporates. You have given yourself the permission to be the source, and you have realized that your subconscious is the mirror of your deepest feeling. You are dangerous because you are vibrationally correct. Chapter 3. The Law of the Felt Sense. The subconscious mind is an organic supercomputer that processes reality through the lens of emotional vibration. It does not understand English, Spanish, or mathematics as abstract concepts. It is deaf to the literal meaning of your affirmations if they are empty of visceral energy. You can repeat the sentence, "I am successful," 1,000 times a day. But if your internal state is vibrating with lack, anxiety, or disbelief, the subconscious will ignore the words and execute the vibration of your true feeling. This is the failure point for the casual practitioner. They think in language, but the subconscious operates in feeling. To make it obey, you must master the law of the felt sense. This is the surgical ability to generate the emotional frequency of your result before it appears in physical space. You are moving from reciting a script to broadcasting a signal. You are going to learn how to anchor your identity in the chemical reality of the wish fulfilled. The first law of the felt sense is the law of the emotional signature. Every thought carries a specific charge. Fear has a frequency that constricts the nervous system. Authority has a frequency that expands the presence. Wealth has a frequency of ease and flow. Your subconscious acts as a magnetic compass. It aligns your external reality with your dominant internal frequency. If you wait for the money to feel wealthy, you are operating on reverse logic. You are telling the subconscious, that you lack the result, and it faithfully produces more lack to match your internal state. The sovereign commander inverts the process. You generate the felt sense of possession. Now, you walk, breathe, and think from the internal premise that the battle is already won. This shift in signature forces the subconscious to adjust the physical environment to resolve the dissonance between your internal certainty and the external world. You move from begging the universe to commanding the alignment. Consider the architecture of the body mirror. The subconscious is tied directly to your physiology. You cannot feel sovereign while slouching, breathing shallowly, or avoiding eye contact. Your body is the terminal through which you input the felt sense into the engine room. To imprint a new command, you must adopt the physicality of the successor. You expand your postural presence. You slow your movement to signal control. You internalize the quiet confidence of someone who already owns the room. This physical feedback loop signals to the subconscious that the identity shift is real. It triggers the release of power-based neurochemicals like testosterone and dopamine, hardening the felt sense into a biological fact. You move from mental visualization to somatic certainty. You are occupying the state until the state occupies you. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the gratitude loop. Gratitude is the ultimate command for the subconscious mind. When you feel truly grateful for a result, you are confirming to the subconscious that the result is already present. You cannot be grateful for something that hasn't happened unless you accept its existence. In the mental realm, the sovereign uses preemptive gratitude. You spend time each day deeply feeling the thankfulness for your victory, your health, and your command. This feeling short-circuits the anxiety of waiting. It tells the subconscious, the order has been delivered and received. The subconscious then accelerates the materialization of the event to close the gap between thought and form. You move from asking for a favor to acknowledging a reality. You are winning because you are celebrating before the world sees the win. You must also confront the trap of the sensory conflict. Your five senses will argue with your felt sense. They will point to the empty desk, the quiet phone, or the unfinished project. This is the testing phase. Most people relapse here, but they look at the current data and lose the felt sense, effectively cancelling their order. The sovereign practices sensory denial. You close your eyes to the temporary fact and open your mind to the eternal truth. You value the internal vibration more than the external reflection. You realize that the physical world is slow and dense. It is yesterday's news catching up to today's command. You move from being controlled by sight to being directed by vision. You are dangerous because your clarity is indifferent to the obstacle. You are steady while the mirror of the world is adjusting to your new image. The second law of the felt sense is the principle of the mental atmosphere. You cannot command the subconscious for 10 minutes and then spend the rest of the day in a a mental atmosphere of cynicism, frustration, or smallness. This mixed signaling confuses the engine room. It creates a stalled state. The sovereign maintains a constant climate. You guard your internal vibration with lethal intensity. You refuse to entertain low-frequency environments, negative media, or conversations that degrade your felt sense. You realize that every second of feeling is a command. You move from intermittent practice to total integration. You are confidence personified because your vibration is seamless. You are the command from the moment you wake until the moment you return to sleep. In the law of the felt sense, you will encounter the lure of the intellectual shadow. You will think that understanding the process is the same as doing the process. It is not. Knowing the physics of a fire doesn't keep you warm. You must light the match. You must do the internal work of generating the feeling until your heart rate changes and your skin tingles with the reality of the success. This is the threshold of imprinting. If you feel no shift, you have issued no command. You move from studying the law to executing the law. You are confident because you feel the power surge of the subconscious responding to your intensity. You refuse to accept mental dryness. You ignite the feeling with surgical focus. The third law is the law of the effortless release. Once the felt sense is locked in, you must stop trying. Forcing the feeling creates resistance and doubt. You adopt the state of naturalness. How would you feel if you already had the success? You wouldn't be straining or pleading. You would be relaxed. You would be calm. You would be normal. This sense of naturalness is the final seal of subconscious acceptance. It means the subconscious has absorbed the identity so completely that it no longer feels new or difficult. You move from intensity to inevitability. You rest in the knowledge that the seeds are growing in the dark. You are certain because you have passed the order to a higher power. As you conclude this chapter on the felt sense, to perform a frequency check, close your eyes and take a deep breath. Think of your primary goal. Now, shift your focus away from the thought and into your body. Generate the physical sensation of total completion. Feel the relaxation in your shoulders, the certainty in your breath, and the warmth of success in your chest. Hold this vibration for 60 seconds without breaking focus. You will observe how the weight of doubt evaporates in the presence of realized feeling. You have given yourself the permission to be the source, and you have realized that your subconscious is the mirror of your deepest feeling. You are dangerous because you are vibrationally correct. The Sovereign Commander realizes that feeling is the only currency the subconscious accepts. You do not ask for results. You occupy the state of the result until the environment collapses into agreement. You recognize that your feelings are not responses to the world, but commands that create the world. You accept the responsibility of your vibration. You filter your emotions with surgical precision. You invest your feeling only in identities of power, authority, and abundance. You refuse to leak your energy into states of victimhood or grievance. You are the governor of your internal climate. You are the master of the felt sense. By mastering the felt sense, you bypass the limitation of linear time. You bring the future into the present by feeling it now. You create a vacuum in reality that the universe must fill. This is the mechanism of miracles described by Joseph Murphy. It is the practical application of spiritual law. You are utilizing the creative power of the universe by directing your feeling with lethal accuracy. You acknowledge that the inner is the only reality, and the outer is merely a shadow. You stop chasing the shadow and start commanding the light. You move from seeking to being. You move from lack to fullness. You move from human limitation to subconscious sovereignty. Every morning, you commit to the calibration of the feeling. You do not leave your bed until the felt sense of success is established. Every evening, you return to the frequency of gratitude. In between, you maintain the static stability of the wish fulfilled. You treat your internal vibration as your most valuable asset. You guard it against external shock. You nurture it with surgical visualization. You strengthen it with physical alignment. You realize that to feel is to command. You accept the sovereignty of your felt sense. You are the commander of the internal engine. You are the architect of your subconscious reality. The world obeys the vibration of the sovereign. Chapter 4. The Script of Authority. The subconscious mind is the ultimate executive assistant, but it requires explicit and non-negotiable instructions to function with surgical precision. Most people fail in their programming because they speak to the subconscious in the language of suggestion, hope, or desperate pleading. They use weak affirmations like, "I'm trying to be better," or "I hope I get the promotion." These are lethal commands of indecision. They signal to the engine room that the captain is unsure. To make it obey, you must master the script of authority. This is the transition from positive thinking to strategic command. You are moving from affirming a possibility to decreeing a reality. You are going to learn how to draft and deploy linguistic triggers that force the subconscious into immediate alignment. You are moving from dialogue to dictation. The first law of the script of authority is the law of the present tense. The subconscious only exists in the now. It has zero concept of the future. If you command it with "I will be wealthy," the subconscious records a permanent state of will be. It keeps the result always in the future, just out of reach. This is the procrastination of the soul. The sovereign commander only issues commands in the immediate present. You say, "Tifon, I am sovereign. I have authority. I embody wealth." This linguistic snap forces the subconscious to process the identity as a current requirement. It creates an internal crisis that the subconscious must resolve by restructuring your external world to match the present tense decree. You move from waiting for the future to commanding the moment. Consider the architecture of the binary command. The subconscious is overwhelmed by adjectives and complexity. To imprint with maximum force, you must simplify the syntax. Your script should be short, punchy, and undeniable. Joseph Murphy emphasized the power of single-word commands. Instead of a long paragraph about career growth, you use the command success. Instead of explaining health metrics, you use the command upon of vitality. This binary precision prevents the conscious mind from analyzing or interjecting with doubt. A single word is a neural bullet. It penetrates the critical filter and explodes in the subconscious soil. You move from explaining to stamping. You are winning because your orders are impossible to misunderstand. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the authoritative tone. The subconscious reacts to the frequency of command. If you repeat your script with a whining or pleading internal voice, the subconscious obeys the insecurity, not the words. The sovereign uses a voice of decree. When you issue your script, you do so with the same certainty you would use to state your own name. You speak from the diaphragm of the soul. You refuse to argue with your own command. You state the truth and then you walk away. This emotional detachment signals to the subconscious that the order is final and non-negotiable. You move from begging for change to issuing the law. You are dangerous because you expect instant obedience. You must also confront the trap of the cognitive clash. When you first begin your script of authority, your conscious mind will scream that you are lying. It will point to the evidence of your current limitation. This is the rejection phase. The sovereign handles this with surgical indifference. You acknowledge the conscious protest as old data and reissue the new command with increased intensity. You refuse to defend your script. You realize that the script is the cause and the current reality is the effect. You focus on the cause with lethal persistence until the effect changes. You move from debating the facts to designing the future. You are steady while the system is recalibrating to your new narrative. The second law of the script of authority is the principle of the rhythmic reinforcement. The subconscious is multi-conditioned by repetition. A single command is a suggestion, 1,000 commands is a law. You establish a rhythm of transmission. You speak your script in the morning, in the evening, and during the transition points of your day. This constant bombardment wears down the old programming through linguistic attrition. You saturate your mental atmosphere with your decrees until they become the dominant background noise of your life. You move from occasional practice to total immersion. You are confidence personified because your script is unceasing. In the script of authority, you will encounter the lure of the social narrative. You will be tempted to adopt the scripts of the crowd, scripts of struggle, inflation, fairness, or victimhood. You must incinerate the external script. You refuse to repeat the complaints of the collective. You maintain your linguistic sovereignty. You realize that every word you speak to others is overheard by your subconscious and recorded as a self-command. You speak only of victory, abundance, and power. You move from social conformity to architectural isolation. You are dangerous because you refuse to participate in common limitation. You are the author of your own dictionary. The third law is the law of the final seal. Every session of scripting must end with a seal of completion. You use a phrase that signals to the subconscious that the order is submitted and processed. Joseph Murphy often used the phrase, "It is finished." You can use "done, so it is," or "decreed." This finality prevents the conscious mind from continuing to worry or tinker with the command. It hands the operation over to the infinite intelligence of the subconscious. You release the script into the engine room with absolute trust. You move from laboring over the thought to resting in the decree. You expect the result with the same certainty that you expect the sun to rise. As you conclude this chapter on the script of authority, As perform a scripting audit. Identify the one area of friction in your life. Write down a 3-word command for that area in the present tense. For the next 48 hours, you will speak this command 100 times a day with clinical detachment. You will observe how the internal resistance softens and the external environment begins to shift. You have given yourself the permission to be the dictator of your reality, and you have realized that your subconscious is the lethal executive of your spoken word. You are dangerous because you command the narrative. You are confident because you are the script. The sovereign commander understands that language is software. You do not talk to express yourself, and you talk to code your existence. You choose your words with the same care you would use to program a nuclear reactor. You remove the bugs of doubt and hesitation. You install the high-resolution commands of authority. You refuse to waste a single syllable on mediocrity. You acknowledge that your subconscious is listening to every breath. You honor the power of the decree. You move from asking to demanding. You move from human speech to sovereign transmission. You realize that the universe obeys the one who speaks with absolute authority. By mastering the script, you gain control over the default mode network of your brain. You replace the random chatter of the ego with the direct instruction of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates our internal conflict. It creates a laser focus in the subconscious that cannot be distracted. You become a linguistic force of nature. Your words carry weight. Your commands carry life. You accept the sovereignty of your script. You are the commander of the internal voice. You are the architect of your subconscious narrative. The world obeys the script of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are authority. You are done. Chapter 5. The Master Image. The subconscious mind is essentially a biological projector. It does not create from logic or reason. It projects into physical reality the master image that is permanently engraved upon its sensitive plate. Most people suffer because their internal gallery is filled with images of fear, rejection, and mediocrity. They think they are working toward success, but their subconscious is faithfully projecting a blueprint of struggle. This visual dissonance is the source of self-sabotage. To make the subconscious obey, you must master the architecture of the master image. This is the surgical process of demolishing the old scarcity map and installing a high-definition blueprint of power. You are moving from wishing for a new life to designing the mold from which that life must inevitably cast itself. You are moving from observing the world to projecting the world. The first law of the master image is the law of the visual command. The subconscious thinks in pictures. It is indifferent to abstractions. If you say the word success, the subconscious searches its archive for the image you have associated with that word. If that image is fuzzy, doubtful, or small, the result will be equally vague. The sovereign commander develops lethal visual clarity. You construct a fixed mental picture of your result in its completed state. You see the contract signed. You see the body healed. You see the commanding presence in the mirror. This image is not a fantasy. It is a technical directive. You hold the image with unwavering focus until the subconscious accepts it as the standard operating procedure. You move from vague daydreaming to strategic visualization. Consider the architecture of the mental cinema. To imprint the subconscious, you must move the image from a static photograph to a living movie. You enter the scene. You engage the first-person perspective. You do not watch yourself succeed from a distance, but you experience the success. Through your own eyes, you reach out and touch the texture of the achievement. You feel the solid reality of the desk, the handshake, or the award. This immersive simulation tricks the neural circuitry into believing the experience is happening now. Since the subconscious cannot differentiate between a vividly imagined act and a physical act, it records the movie as hard data. It then mobilizes your intuition and energy to bridge the gap between the mental movie and the physical world. You move from watching to operating. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the exclusive focus. The subconscious responds to the dominant image. If you visualize your success for 5 minutes but spend the rest of your day visualizing your debts or failures, the negative image will overpower the positive one. The sovereign enforces visual monogamy. You choose your master image and refuse to entertain any contradictory visuals. When an image of failure intrudes, you surgically incinerate it with the light of the master image. You flash your blueprint onto the screen of your mind with increased intensity. You maintain the visual pressure until the old image dissolves from lack of attention. You move from visual chaos to focused intent. You are dangerous because your subconscious has only one direction to move. You must also confront the trap of the how. When you project the master image, the conscious mind will immediately interject with questions about how the result will manifest. It will point to the lack of resources or the complexity of the path. This analytical interference blurs the image and signals doubt to the subconscious. The sovereign abandons the how. You realize that the subconscious possesses infinite intelligence and ways that you know not of. Your only job is to furnish the blueprint. You hold the end result with absolute certainty and leave the details of execution to the engine room. You move from micromanaging the universe to commanding the outcome. You are steady because you trust the automatic mechanism of the subconscious. The second law of the master image is the principle of the flashcard method. To deepen the imprint, you must frequent the image. You create mental flashcards, short and high-intensity visual bursts of your success that you trigger throughout the day. When you wait in line, when you walk to a meeting, or when you sit in silence, you flash the master image onto your mental screen for 10 seconds. This high-frequency repetition saturates the subconscious soil. It conditioned the system to recognize the image as the natural state. You move from long-form meditation to constant cognitive programming. You are confidence personified because your mind is wallpapered with victory. In the architecture of the master image, you will encounter the lure of the external comparison. You will look at other people's blueprints and feel the need to change yours. You must incinerate the comparison. Your master image must be sovereign. It must reflect your own deepest utility and authority. If you copy an image that does not resonate with your felt sense, the subconscious will detect the inauthenticity and refuse to execute. You design your blueprint with surgical honesty. You own every pixel of the vision. You move from social mimicry to original design. You are dangerous because you are authentic to your own command. You are the architect of your unique dominion. The third law is the law of the emotional catalyst. An image without emotion is a skeleton without flesh. To animate the deep master image, you must infuse it with life. As you see the result, you generate the felt sense of triumph, relief, or peace. You connect the visual to the heart rate. This emotional charge acts as the developer for the subconscious film. It burns the image into the neural substrate with permanent intensity. You refuse to visualize with cold logic. You visualize with burning certainty. You move from cold geometry to living architecture. You expect the materialization with the same physiological reality as the rising tide. As you conclude this chapter on the master image and perform a blueprint audit, identify your primary objective. Close your eyes and draft the master image of that objective in its completed state. Identify the 3 specific details and the color of the ink, the sound of the environment, the feeling of the surface. For the next 48 hours, you will flash this image 50 times a day, but you will refuse to let any other blueprint enter your mental workshop. You will observe the shift in your internal stability. You have given yourself the permission to be the designer of your destiny, and you have realized that your subconscious is the universal projector of your internal blueprint. You are dangerous because you command the vision. You are confident because you see the end. The sovereign commander understands that sight is passive, but vision is active command. You do not look at the world to find meaning. You project meaning onto the world through the master image. You choose your visuals with the same care you would use to select a weapon. You remove the visual noise of distraction. You install the high-resolution blueprint of authority. You refuse to waste a single frame on failure. You acknowledge that your subconscious is recording every internal glance. You honor the power of the image. You move from being a spectator to being the director. You move from optical sight to sovereign vision. You realize that the physical world must surrender to the image of the master. By mastering the image, you gain control over the visual processing center of your reality. You replace the random static of the world with the direct projection of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates environmental interference. It creates a visual gravity in the subconscious that pulls circumstances into alignment. You become a pictorial force of nature. Your vision carries mass. Your images carry destiny. You accept the sovereignty of your master image. You are the commander of the internal screen. You are the architect of your subconscious blueprint. The world obeys the image of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are design. You are done. Chapter 6. The Infinite Supply. The subconscious mind is the direct interface with what Joseph Murphy termed infinite intelligence, the source of all form, energy, and idea. Most people operate from a logic of scarcity, believing that resources are finite, success is a zero-sum game, and wealth is subject to external markets. This scarcity script acts as a lethal constriction on the subconscious engine. It commands the system to look for lack, expect competition, and fear loss. To make the subconscious obey, you must master the logic of infinite supply. This is the surgical removal of economic anxiety and the installation of the abundance frequency. You are moving from fighting for a piece of the pie to being the oven that bakes the universe. You are going to learn how to command the subconscious to tap into the invisible reservoir of infinite wealth. You are moving from financial survival to sovereign opulence. The first law of infinite supply is the law of the non-depleting source. The subconscious does not see money as paper or numbers in a digital ledger. It sees wealth as a mental idea. Since ideas are infinite, wealth is infinite. If you believe that someone else's success reduces your opportunity, you are sending a command of poverty to your engine room. The sovereign commander adopts the principle of a universal expansion. You celebrate the wealth of others because it provides biological proof that the source is working. You realize that abundance is a state of consciousness that precedes the physical currency. You issue the command, "There is no lack." You move from resenting the rich to syncing with the frequency of riches. You are dangerous because your subconscious recognizes no limits. Consider the architecture of the value transmission. Wealth is the physical reflection of the service and utility you project into the world. The subconscious obeys the command of abundance when you align your identity with contribution. You stop asking, "How do I get money?" and start commanding, "How do I provide maximum utility?" This shift triggers the subconscious to extract high-value ideas from the infinite intelligence. It opens the creative channels that were clogged by selfish anxiety. You receive the blueprint for the business, the investment, or the innovation that carries the weight of wealth. You move from chasing dollars to attracting assets. You are winning because your internal value is unbounded. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the fear embargo. Fear of poverty is the most destructive virus in the subconscious system. It paralyzes the executive center and forces the body into stress response mode, making clear strategic thought impossible. The sovereign enforces a total ban on economic panic. When the market shifts or a loss occurs, you refuse to validate the crisis. You maintain the static frequency of supply. You say to the subconscious, "This temporary event has zero power over my infinite source." This refusal to sync with fear maintains your clarity of command. You move from reacting to the ticker to commanding the trend. You are dangerous because your confidence is decoupled from the environment. You must also confront the trap of the hard labor, a fallacy. The world tells you that wealth is the direct result of physical exhaustion and grinding. This is low-resolution logic. While action is required, the source of the result is the subconscious imprint. If you work hard from a felt sense of lack, you will only produce more exhausted lack. The sovereign prioritizes mental labor. You spend more energy hardening your identity of abundance than you do grinding in the physical world. You ensure that every action you take is backed by the certainty of the infinite. You move from working for a living to operating for a fortune. You are steady because you know the internal work determines the external yield. The second law of infinite supply is the principle of the affirmative flow. To keep the channels open, you must A. Practice circulation. Hoarding from a place of fear signals lack to the subconscious. The sovereign moves resources with calculated authority. You pay your bills with gratitude and confidence, knowing that every dollar that leaves your hand returns multiplied by the infinite engine. You invest in yourself, your systems, and your growth without hesitation. This fluidity signals to the subconscious that you are a high-capacity conduit for abundance. The system then increases the volume of supply to match your rate of circulation. You move from clutching the penny to directing the flow. In the logic of infinite supply, you will encounter the lure of the fixed income. You will be tempted to believe that your wealth is limited by your job, your contract, or your salary. You must incinerate the ceiling. You declare that your supply is omnidirectional. You tell the subconscious, I am open to wealth from known and unknown sources. This sovereign command frees the subconscious to identify opportunities outside your current frame of reference. You begin to see value where others see waste. You receive windfalls and synchronicities that logic cannot explain. You move from linear growth to exponential manifestation. You are dangerous because you are impossible to limit. The third law is the law of the opulent identity. To hold infinite supply, you must be an opulent person. You refuse to think small. You refuse to buy cheap out of fear. You surround yourself with symbols of quality, order, and excellence. You adopt the posture of abundance in your privacy. This is not arrogance, it is frequency alignment. You are training your subconscious to recognize that luxury and excellence are your natural habitat. The subconscious then works to keep you there. You move from aspiring to wealth to embodying the standard. You expect the best because you are the best expression of the source. As you conclude this chapter on infinite supply, perform an abundance audit. Identify one financial fear you are currently harboring. Close your eyes and replace that fear with the master image of infinite circulation. Issue the command, I am a conduit for infinite wealth. For the next 48 hours, you will smile every time you spend money, knowing it is circulating back to you. You will observe how the internal constriction dissolves. You have given yourself the permission to be the heir to the infinite, and you have realized that your subconscious is the bank of the universe. You are dangerous because you command the flow. You are confident because you own the source. The sovereign commander understands that poverty is a mental disease and wealth is a lethal competence. You do not wait for the economy to improve. You command the economy of your internal kingdom. You choose your frequency with surgical precision. You remove the sludge of envy and scarcity. You install the high-resolution logic of infinite supply. You refuse to waste a single thought on lack. You acknowledge that your subconscious is executing your internal economic policy. You honor the power of abundance. You move from struggle to sovereignty. You move from need to fullness. You realize that the physical currency must surrender to the wealth of the sovereign. By mastering the supply, you gain fixed control over the opportunity detection system of your reality. You replace the random luck of the world with the direct attraction of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates financial friction. It creates an economic gravity in the subconscious that pulls prosperity into alignment. You become a monetary force of nature. Your state carries profit. Your logic carries fortune. You accept the sovereignty of your infinite supply. You are the commander of the internal treasury. You are the architect of your subconscious opulence. The world obeys the abundance of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are wealth. You are done. Chapter 7. The Sovereign Healer. The subconscious mind is the master architect and sole repairman of the biological machine. It directs the immune system, regulates the endocrine flow, and oversees the cellular regeneration that occurs every microsecond of your existence. Most people suffer from chronic decay because they interfere with this automatic healing mechanism through mental pollution. They imprint their subconscious with images of sickness, aging, and fragility. They identify with their diagnosis more than their design. This identity of illness commands the subconscious to maintain the disease to match the internal blueprint. To make the subconscious obey, you must master the logic of the sovereign healer. This is the surgical extraction of biological victimhood and the installation of the vitality command. You are moving from fighting a disease to commanding a restoration. You are going to learn how to tap into the infinite healing presence that built your body from a single cell. You are moving from medical dependency to subconscious autonomy. The first law of the sovereign healer is the law of the original blueprint. Your subconscious holds the perfect map of every organ, tissue, and cell in your system. Disease is not a natural state. It is a functional distortion caused by fear, stress, or negative suggestion. When you command the subconscious with the master image of health, you are not creating something new. You are restoring the default setting. The sovereign commander refuses to validate the symptoms. You do not speak of my arthritis or my pain. You release the ownership of the illness. You issue the command. The perfection of the blueprint is now manifest. You remind the subconscious of its original duty to build and repair. You move from managing symptoms to enforcing the design. You are dangerous because your body obeys your mental will. Consider the architecture of the biochemical instruction. Every thought you hold is a chemical signal sent to your cells. Fear releases cortisol and adrenaline, which halt healing and accelerate degradation. Certainty, peace, and joy release endorphins and growth hormones that initiate deep repair. The subconscious obeys the dominant chemical atmosphere. If you live in a state of anxiety, you are starving your cells of the resources they need to heal. The sovereign enforces a biochemical embargo on stress. You manually induce the felt sense of vitality to flood your system with healing chemistry. You command your glands to produce the elixir of life. You move from being a victim of your chemistry to being the chemist. You are winning because your internal environment is optimized for restoration. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the sensory denial. When the body reports pain, weakness, or fatigue, the untrained mind accepts the report as total reality. It focuses on the sensation, which magnifies the signal in the subconscious. This feedback loop locks the body into the state of illness. The sovereign practices somatic indifference. You acknowledge the sensation as temporary data, but refuse to grant it authority. You close your eyes and visualize the opposite reality. If a joint is inflamed, you visualize it cool, fluid, and strong. You force the subconscious to focus on the completed healing rather than the current discomfort. You move from listening to your body to telling your body. You are dangerous because your focus is unbreakable. You must also confront the trap of the diagnostic anchor. The medical world labels you with names of conditions. These labels act as powerful hypnotic suggestions. If you accept the label as your identity, you command your subconscious to manifest every symptom associated with that label. The sovereign incinerates the label. You recognize the diagnosis as human observation, but you maintain your sovereign perspective. You tell the subconscious, I am not ill, I am undergoing a temporary calibration. You keep your mental plate clean of external predictions. You refuse to research the progress of the disease. You research only the progress of the cure. You move from following the statistics to being the exception. You are steady because your source is invisible. The second law of the sovereign healer is the principle of the fluid circulation. Health is a state of flow. Disease is a state of stagnation. To command healing, you must command the flow of life force. You visualize the white light of vitality streaming through your arteries, lymphatics, and neural pathways. You identify with the infinite river of energy that sustains the universe. You command the removal of every obstruction. You breath with the rhythm of expansion. This mental movement triggers the subconscious to increase blood flow and oxygenation to the target area. You move from observing the blockage to enforcing the circulation. You are confidence personified because your energy is unstoppable. In the logic of the sovereign healer, you will encounter the lure of the sympathy script. You will be tempted to seek attention or pity for your condition. This is lethal sabotage. Seeking sympathy confirms your weakness to the subconscious and rewards the body for remaining ill. The sovereign rejects sympathy. You do not complain. You do not seek comfort for your ailment. You maintain the posture of a victor. You speak only of your strength and increasing vitality. You isolate the healing process from your social identity. You move from performing the patient to embodying the sovereign. You are dangerous because you refuse to benefit from failure. You are the master of your internal integrity. The third law is the law of the sleeping cure. The subconscious performs its most profound healing while the conscious mind is absent. To make it obey, you must set the night command. Before sleep, you focus exclusively on the perfect health of the afflicted area. You do not think of the sickness. You think of the function. You see the organ working perfectly. You feel the glow of vitality radiating from your core. You give the subconscious the blueprint and order it to execute the repair during the night cycle. You wake up expecting improvement. You move from sleeping in fear to resting in restoration. You trust the engine room to rebuild the ship. As you conclude this chapter on the sovereign healer, perform a biological audit. Identify one area of discomfort or weakness in your body. close your eyes and withdraw all emotional energy from the symptom. Generate the felt sense of that area, functioning with lethal efficiency and total strength. Issue the command. My body is the temple of infinite health. For the next 48 hours, you will refuse to speak of this area in negative terms. You will observe how the sensation shifts when it is no longer fed by attention. You have given yourself the permission to be the commander of the cells, and you have realized that your subconscious is the pharmacy of the soul. You are dangerous because you command the life force. You are confident because you own the blueprint. The sovereign commander understands that death, turn and decay are suggestions, but life is a decree. You do not hope for healing, but you enforce the restoration. You choose your identity with surgical precision. You remove the sludge of self-pity and fragility. You install the high-resolution logic of innate vitality. You refuse to waste a single thought on limitations. You acknowledge that your subconscious is managing your biological assets. You honor the power of life. You move from sickness to sovereignty. You move from fragile to fortified. You realize that the physical cells must surrender to the health of the sovereign. By mastering the healer, you gain control over the regenerative system of your reality. You replace the random sickness of the world with the direct order of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates biological interference. It creates a vitality gravity in the subconscious that pulls health into alignment. You become a biological force of nature. Your state carries cure. Your logic carries immunity. You accept the sovereignty of your internal healer. You are the commander of the biological treasury. You are the architect of your subconscious vitality. The world obeys the health of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are life. You are done. Chapter 8. The Sovereign of Forgiveness. The subconscious mind is the ultimate archive, but it is also a pressurized vessel. It records every incident of betrayal, resentment, and grievance you have ever experienced. Most people struggle to command their future because their subconscious is clogged with the toxic sludge of unresolved past. Conflict. This resentment acts as a lethal parasite on your cognitive resources. It leaks executive energy through constant ruminations, internal arguments, and bitter projections. When you hold a grudge, you are telling your subconscious that the injury is still happening now. This negative imprint forces the system into a defensive, low-vibration state, making high-resolution vision impossible. To make the subconscious obey, you must master the sovereign of forgiveness. When this is the surgical extraction of resentment and the installation of emotional neutrality, you are moving from seeking vengeance to reclaiming your power. You are going to learn how to exorcise the ghosts of the past to free the engine room for creation. You are moving from relational victimhood to subconscious sovereignty. The first law of sovereign forgiveness is the law of the selfish release. Forgiveness is not a moral gift you grant to the other person. It is a tactical operation you perform for your own benefit. The subconscious does not distinguish between the enemy and the self. When you send hate or resentment toward another, you are drenching your own subconscious in that poison. You are programming your system to be hateful and resentful. The sovereign commander refuses to pollute the inner temple. You forgive because you refuse to carry the weight of their error. You issue the command, I release the burden. You realize that forgiveness is the eraser of the subconscious plate. You move from bondage to the offender to total psychological autonomy. You are dangerous because you are impossible to emotionally hijack. Consider the architecture of the emotional debt cancellation. Every resentment is an unresolved transaction in your subconscious ledger. It demands attention and interest every single day. If you wait for the other person to apologize or suffer, you have handed them the key to your internal kingdom. You are waiting for permission to be free. The sovereign cancels the emotional debt unilaterally. I do not negotiate. You do not demand a justice from the world. You enforce justice within your own mind by zeroing the account. You tell the subconscious, the case is closed, the debt is written off. This sovereign decree closes the open loops in your neural circuitry, returning that energy to your command center. You move from emotional bankruptcy to abundant self-possession. You are winning because your internal peace is non-negotiable. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the wish alignment. You cannot command success and vitality while simultaneously wishing for the failure or sickness of another. This duality creates a subconscious deadlock. The subconscious sees the harm you wish for others as a command for yourself. If you rejoice in another's downfall, you are programming your system to associate success with danger and resentment. The sovereign enforces the law of universal goodwill. You wish for everyone to be healthy, wealthy, active, and successful. This is not naive kindness, and it is strategic programming. By aligning your internal frequency with universal success, you ensure that your subconscious recognizes and attracts only success. You move from jealousy to frequency dominance. You are dangerous because your signal is pure and unconflicted. You must also confront the trap of the recursive memory. When you think of the person who hurt you, the untrained mind relives the pain. This reactivation re-imprints the trauma deeper into the subconscious. The sovereign practices memory neutralization. When the image of the offender appears, you immediately infuse it with the command of peace. You say, I wish you well and I release you to your higher good. You do not need to like them. You do not need to associate with them. Not that you only need to neutralize the charge. You hold this command until the memory loses its sting. You move from being triggered to being unfazed. You are steady because your past is sterilized. The second law of sovereign forgiveness is the principle of the radical self-forgiveness. The most lethal resentment you carry is often directed toward yourself. You berate yourself for past errors, wasted time, or failed opportunities. This self-attack commands the subconscious to produce more failure to validate your guilt. The sovereign incinerates self-criticism. You acknowledge that the past version of you acted on lower data. You forgive yourself for not knowing what you know now. You issue the command, I am free from the errors of the past. You embrace your new identity as a clean slate. This internal mercy triggers the subconscious to stop sabotaging your current operations. You move from self-flagellation to self-command. You are confidence personified because your internal alliance is unbroken. In the Sovereign of Forgiveness, you will encounter the lure of the justified grievance. You will feel that you have a right to be angry because the injury was real. You must incinerate the right to be angry. You realize that being right is a poor substitute for being sovereign. Anger is a high-cost energy that degrades your clarity. You refuse to pay the price of bitterness for the luxury of blame. You choose utility over ego. You drop the grievance with clinical coldness. You move from moral superiority to functional supremacy. You are dangerous because you refuse to waste your resources on history. You are the master of your internal real estate. The third law is the law of the transmuted focus. Once you have released the resentment, you must fill the vacuum. You immediately redirect that reclaimed energy into your master image of success and command. You do not leave the subconscious empty. You occupy the new space with identities of power and creation. You observe how much faster the subconscious responds when it is no longer fighting the internal friction of resentment. You move from clearing the land to building the empire. You trust the system to produce at triple the speed. As you conclude this chapter on forgiveness, to perform an emotional audit, identify the one person who makes your blood boil. Close your eyes and visualize them surrounded by light and success. Issue the command, "I forgive you completely and set you free." Repeat this until you feel a physical sensation of lightness in your chest. You will observe how your mental clarity spikes instantaneously. You have given yourself the permission to be the master of your own peace, and you have realized that your subconscious is the engine of your future, not the graveyard of your past. You are dangerous because you control the signal. You are confident because you are clear. The sovereign commander understands that hate is a slave chain, but forgiveness is the key to command. You do not forgive to be good. You forgive to be powerful. You choose your emotional state with surgical precision. You remove the sludge of bitterness and regret. You install the high-resolution logic of absolute release. You refuse to waste a single thought on old enemies. You acknowledge that your subconscious is executing your current vision. You honor the power of peace. You move from resentment to sovereignty. You move from tethered to unbound. You realize that the world must surrender to the clarity of the sovereign. By mastering forgiveness, you gain control over the emotional reserve of your reality. You replace the constant conflict of the world with the direct tranquility of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates psychological interference. It creates an emotional gravity in the subconscious that pulls harmony into alignment. You become a relational force of nature. Your state carries freedom. Your logic carries renewal. You accept the sovereignty of your internal peace. You are the commander of the emotional treasury. You are the architect of your subconscious serenity. The world obeys the peace of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are clear. You are done. Chapter 9. The Sovereign of Sleep. The conscious mind requires rest, but the subconscious mind is an eternal engine that never sleeps. While your physical body is paralyzed and your analytical faculty is offline, your subconscious is operating at maximum capacity. It is regulating your vital organs, processing the data of the day, and to executing the last command you gave it before losing consciousness. Most people waste this 8-hour shift. They fall into sleep in a state of exhaustion, worry, or mindless entertainment. They hand the engine room a script of chaos and wonder why they wake up anxious and powerless. To make the subconscious obey, you must master the sovereign of sleep. This is the strategic outsourcing of your goals to the night processor. You are moving from passive unconsciousness to tactical incubation. You are going to learn how to command your subconscious to solve problems, heal tissue, and build wealth while you rest. You are moving from sleeping to escape to sleeping to command. The first law of the sovereign of sleep is the law of the final impression. The last thought you hold as you drift into the twilight state is the master instruction for the night cycle. It colors the entire 8-hour operation. If you think of bills or conflicts, the subconscious spends the night reliving that scarcity. The sovereign commander enforces a strict pre-sleep protocol. You withdraw your attention from the world of shadows and fix it exclusively on your master image of victory. You repeat your lullaby command until it vibrates in your subconscious. You tell the system, "This is the reality I demand upon waking." You realize that sleep is the high-speed internet of subconscious programming. You move from random dreaming to directed manifestation. You are dangerous because your mind is working while you rest. Consider the architecture of the problem-solving incubator. When you are stuck on a strategic variable or a complex challenge, the conscious mind overheats through linear analysis. The subconscious, however, has access to infinite intelligence and non-linear solutions. To make it obey, you must assign the task before sleep. You state the problem clearly and then command. Subconscious, I deliver the optimal solution to my conscious mind upon waking. You then release the effort and go to sleep in the certainty of the answer. You do not worry about how it will resolve. This act of delegation frees the subconscious to navigate the infinite reservoir of ideas without interference. You move from struggling for answers to receiving intelligence. You are winning because your executive intelligence is augmented by the universal engine. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the morning sync. The first 10 minutes after waking are the delivery window. This is when the subconscious uploads the results of the night shift into your conscious awareness. The untrained mind destroys this window by grabbing the phone or checking emails, effectively overwriting the subconscious data with external noise. The sovereign protects the morning silence. You stay still. You listen for the quiet intuition or the new idea that surfaced during the night. You record the insight immediately. This feedback loop signals to the subconscious that its work is valued, accelerating future deliveries. You move from reacting to the alarm to retrieving the blueprint. You are dangerous because your day is pre-solved. You must, and also confront the trap of the emotional residue. If you go to sleep angry or fearful, you are inducing a toxic incubation. You are commanding your subconscious to produce biochemical stress for 8 hours. This degrades your health and mental clarity. The sovereign enforces an emotional liquidation before sleep. You use the sovereign of forgiveness to clear the slate. You refuse to carry a single negative charge into the sacred laboratory of sleep. You enter the night cycle in a state of radical gratitude. You feel the thankfulness for the success that is already accomplished in the invisible. You move from toxic processing to harmonic restoration. You are steady because your night is sanctified. The second law of the sovereign of sleep is the principle of the lucid identity. While dreaming, the subconscious exposes its current programming through symbolism. If you are frequently chased or failing in dreams, it is a diagnostic signal that your subconscious still harbors identities of victimhood or inadequacy. The sovereign uses dreams as a system audit. You observe the narrative without fear. You decide to change the script. You instruct your subconscious before sleep to show you identities of power and victory. You train yourself to maintain a sense of sovereignty even in the dream state. This level of mastery signals that the reprogramming has reached the deepest layers of the nervous system. You move from being a dreamer to being the dream architect. In the sovereign of sleep, you will encounter the lure of the physical exhaustion. You will think that being tired is enough to sleep well. This is false. Physical fatigue is not subconscious alignment. You can sleep for 10 hours and wake up exhausted if your mind was fighting itself in the dark. The sovereign prioritizes mental stillness over physical rest. You use breathing protocols to lower your heart rate and brain frequency before the first impression. You ensure that your system is coherent before the transition. You move from crashing into sleep to descending into power. You are dangerous because your rest is productive. You are the master of your circadian command. The third law is the law of the 8-hour manifestation. You must realize that the subconscious is actually building your physical reality during sleep. It is directing the atoms and circumstances to align with the last command. If you command wealth before sleep, the subconscious spends the night magnetizing opportunities and synchronicities for the next day. You wake up in a world that has already started to shift. You expect the evidence of your nightly work to appear with surgical accuracy. You move from waking up to a new problem to waking up to a new provision. You trust the engine room to forge the reality while you rest. As you conclude this chapter on sleep, perform a night shift assignment. Tonight, you will identify the one major goal or problem you face. Close your eyes and state the command clearly to your subconscious. Visualize the completed result for 5 minutes. Repeat your lullaby word until you lose consciousness. You will refuse to check your phone for the first 10 minutes after waking. You will observe the insights and the energy that greets you in the morning. You have given yourself the permission to be the commander of the night, and you have realized that sleep is the greatest opportunity for sovereign programming. You are dangerous because you never sleep on your mission. You are confident because you own the night. The sovereign commander understands that unconsciousness is a myth, but subconscious activity is a certainty. You do not go to and sleep to switch off. You go to sleep to switch on the infinite processor. You choose your nightly inputs with surgical precision. You remove the sludge of daily friction. You install the high-resolution commands of authority and success. You refuse to waste a single second of the 8-hour shift. You acknowledge that your subconscious is executing your master plan in the silence. You honor the power of the night cycle. You move from tired to transformed. You move from resting to recoding. You realize that the world must surrender to the dream of the sovereign. By mastering sleep, you gain control over the incubation period of your reality. You replace the morning anxiety of the world with the morning certainty of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates time-wasting indecision. It creates a temporal gravity in the subconscious that pulls future victories into present facts. You become a diurnal force of nature. Your night carries creation. Your morning carries execution. You accept the sovereignty of your internal night processor. You are the commander of the sleep treasury. You are the architect of your subconscious dreams. The world obeys the command of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are restored. You are done. Chapter 10. The Sovereign of Habit. The conscious mind is the architect, but habit is the builder that occupies the structure. Most people exhaust their executive center by attempting to force success through sheer willpower. This is a tactical error. Willpower is a finite battery that quickly depletes with every decision. Habit, however, is powered by the subconscious flywheel. It is infinite, automatic, and effortless. If your habit loops are calibrated for distraction, doubt, or procrastination, you are running a systemic sabotage that no amount of inspiration can overcome. To make the subconscious obey, you must master the sovereign of habit. This is the surgical installation of automatic excellence. You are moving from trying to be productive to being unable to be anything else. You are going to learn how to hard code your success into the neural substrate so that your best actions become as natural as breathing. You are moving from manual labor to subconscious automation. The first law of the sovereign of habit is the law of the neural groove. Every action you repeat carries an electrochemical charge that carves a path in your brain. The subconscious seeks the path of least resistance. If you have repeated a negative behavior for years, that groove is deep and wide. The subconscious slides into it automatically. The sovereign commander refuses to fight the old groove. Instead, you starve the old and flood the new. You initiate a new action with high-resolution intent. You repeat it with clinical consistency for 21 to 40 days. This repetition forces the subconscious to build a new neural highway. Once the new groove is deeper than the old one, the excellence becomes automatic. You move from breaking a habit to replacing a system. You are dangerous because your momentum is mechanical. Consider the architecture of the identity anchor. A habit is not just what you do, it is a reflection of who you are. If you try to exercise while identifying as a lazy person, the subconscious will trigger internal friction to restore the consistency of the old identity. To make it obey, you must anchor the habit in identity. You do not go to the gym, you are an athlete. You do not write a script, you are a content authority. This sovereign decree commands the subconscious to make the action consistent with the label. You use the habit as evidence for the new identity. Every completed task is a vote for the sovereign version of you. You move from performing a task to validating an existence. You are winning because your habits are congruent with your command. Furthermore, you must master the economics of the micro-win. The subconscious responds to success chemistry. When you set a massive, an impossible goal, the subconscious calculates the high probability of failure and withholds the energy. This creates procrastination. The sovereign uses surgical scaling. You break your new habit down into a task so small it is impossible to fail. You write one sentence. You perform one repetition. You read one page. This micro-win triggers a small burst of dopamine. The subconscious records a win. You repeat this process daily, building a chain of victory. This chain creates the psychological floor upon which your grand ambitions are built. You move from intimidated to unstoppable. You are dangerous because you never break the chain. You must also confront the trap of the environmental trigger. Your environment is a map of cues for your subconscious. If you try to code a new habit in an environment saturated with old cues, you are fighting a losing war. The sovereign architects the terrain. You remove the triggers for low-value habits. You place the tools for your command habits in the direct path of your vision. You make the good habit visible and the bad habit invisible. You realize that self-control is a design flaw. The sovereign designs a life where self-control is rarely necessary. You move from battling the room to commanding the context. You are steady because your environment enforces your intent. The second law of the sovereign of habit is the principle of the habit stack. The subconscious learns best through association. To install a new habit with minimum effort, you anchor it to an existing automaticity. You decide, after I established habit, I will new command habit. After I drink my morning coffee, I will visualize my master image. This stacking uses the neural momentum of the old habit to carry the new one into the subconscious engine. It eliminates the decision fatigue of when to act. The system obeys because the trigger is already hardwired. You move from remembering to do it to doing it without thinking. You are confidence personified because your excellence is structural. In the sovereign of habit, you will encounter the lure of the day off. You will think that skipping one day is harmless. This is lethal deception. The subconscious values unbroken continuity above intensity. Skipping a day commands the subconscious that the habit is optional. It weakens the neural groove and reactivates the old path. The sovereign adopts the never miss, twice rule. If a crisis interrupts the system, you return to the protocol with immediate force the very next day. You maintain the integrity of the pattern. You move from casual practice to sovereign discipline. You are dangerous because your consistency is absolute. You are the master of your internal rhythms. The third law is the law of the reward sink. The subconscious seeks to repeat what feels good. To cement a new habit, you must reward the behavior immediately. You take a moment after completing the action to intensely feel the sense of pride, completion, or sovereignty. You tell the subconscious, this is the win. This emotional spike speeds up the neural insulation, myelin, of the habit circuit. You do not wait for the external reward. You manufacture the internal reward. You move from grinding to enjoying the command. You trust the engine room to crave the excellence. As you conclude this chapter on habit, perform a system audit. Identify one low-value habit you wish to liquidate and one high-authority habit you wish to install. Scale the new habit down to a 2-minute version. Choose the identity anchor. For example, I am a disciplined strategist. Identify the stack queue, for example, after I sit at my desk. For the next 48 hours, you will execute this micro-habit with total consistency. You will observe how the internal friction dissolves when the task is small and the identity is clear. You have given yourself the permission to be the engineer of your behavior, and you have realized that your subconscious is the automatic builder of your life. You are dangerous because you automate success. You are confident because you are your habits. The sovereign commander understands that motivation is fickle, but systems are permanent. You do not hope to be productive, or you code the production into the subconscious engine. You choose your loops with surgical precision. You remove the sludge of reactive living. You install the high-resolution logic of automatic authority. You refuse to waste a single ounce of willpower on trivialities. You acknowledge that your subconscious is operating your daily schedule. You honor the power of the routine. You move from effort to ease. You move from unconscious incompetence to subconscious mastery. You realize that the world must surrender to the consistency of the sovereign. By mastering habit, you gain control over the momentum system of your reality. You replace the constant exhaustion of the world with the effortless power of the sovereign. This clarity of signal eliminates systemic drag. It creates a behavioral gravity in the subconscious that pulls results into alignment. You become a rhythmic force of nature. Your action carries identity. Your logic carries legacy. You accept the sovereignty of your internal automation. You are the commander of the behavioral treasury. You are the architect of your subconscious loops. The world obeys the rhythm of the sovereign. You are infinite. You are automatic. You are done. You are